Good morning. I'm June Simmons. I'm the founding president of Partners in Care Foundation, which has the honor of being the office that leads the GSWEC, the Geriatric Social Work Education Consortium. And it's my honor to welcome you this morning to a very special occasion. And we know this is such an important time. It's an important time for GSWEC because GSWEC has come of age and it's 20 years old and it has accomplished so much. And we are so proud of the history. And so we want to recognize that. But the real honor of the day will also be to recognize our GSWEC fellows who have completed their time and have won not only their GSWEC fellowship, but their MSWs from our great schools here in the region. And in this time of COVID, you can see it makes me sad. These rites of passage are so important. You've worked so hard. You've invested in so many ways, and this is such a moment of pride for you and all that love you. And so our team worked very hard because we usually bring you all together in person, and we can admire each other and we can appreciate the human community that we've created and the investments in social work that are being made with you as leaders of the future. And so we really wanted to find a way to do that virtually, the new modern way. And so we are grateful that we're all well, that we are all here, and that you have indeed consummated many years of effort to graduate and join so many of us, including me, as MSWs, proud of our social work roots and our social work future, so important in this time. So we will be honoring GSWEC because it is comprised of the great social work schools in the universities in our region. And it's comprised of the top senior serving agencies in our region, and you will meet them and they'll be part of this. But we want to look a little bit at our history and how we came to be 20 years ago. We were in the first cohort, as you will hear from a distinguished representative from our first and founding funder, the John A. Hartford Foundation in New York. And they were accompanied in matching funding, and you will meet the Archstone Foundation, a very important local foundation of significance that in the video you will hear from them. But we will be joined in person in a few minutes by Ronnie Snyder from the John A. Hartford Foundation, who had planned to fly out and be with us in person. We have a long history with the John A. Hartford Foundation. It has distinguished itself as the lead and early pioneering investor in aging and health. A lot of philanthropy in America, but they have a distinctive focus and a deep root of national leadership in moving the issues forward to address the changing demographic and the critical needs to have proper and positive high impact systems available to make aging successful, to equip people to age well, and to get our service systems in place. But originally, the John A. Hartford Foundation primarily invested in medical education and then in nursing education. So I had the distinct honor of being the first social worker to be funded through the John A. Hartford Foundation. So I watched them evolve into becoming a major philanthropic investor in social work education as they discovered the really important role social work needs to play as part of the interdisciplinary team of key disciplines that are critical to aging services in America. So they were the very first funder, and we're going to hear something about that history because we do have the honor today of being joined from New York. We'll say live from New York. The very important and good friend to us still, Ronnie Snyder, who serves as the vice president for program at the John A. Hartford Foundation now. And prior to that, she spent many years in philanthropy. She was with the Donald W. Reynolds Foundation in critical leadership role. And now she also carries the chairmanship of grant makers in aging. And so Ronnie and the John A. Hartford Foundation continue their signature leadership role in investing in all the systems that really help us make aging great. So it is my great honor to welcome live from New York our good friend and colleague and historical partner, Ronnie Snyder. Ronnie, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you, June. That was so lovely. I'm so pleased to be here with all of you this morning. This is a wonderful occasion, and I want to start by sincerely congratulating all of you who are graduating, and also Partners in Care Foundation and the Geriatric Social Work Education Consortium on its 20-year anniversary. That's really impressive. The program's continuation after more than 2 decades represents a really enduring legacy that continues to help us at the John A. Hartford Foundation meet our mission, which is to improve the care of older adults. So a little bit about our foundation for those of you who don't know us. Our foundation was established by the family owners of the A&P grocery store chain in 1929. And it's a private national philanthropy, as June mentioned, based in New York City, although we operate across the country. And today we have 3 priority areas: creating age-friendly health systems, supporting family caregivers, and improving serious illness and end-of-life care. We're making progress in those 3 areas because of our foundational work in aging and health over almost 40 years, and also because of the amazing organizations we've worked with, people and partners like Partners in Care, and the innovative programs that they have helped us to develop and have helped to support, like the Geriatric Social Work Education Consortium, which continues to go so strong in Southern California. So a little bit of history, as June mentioned. In the early 1990s and through the early 2000s, a lot of our funding went to building the field of geriatrics and gerontology, and we had a goal of helping our nation to develop capacity and the ability to serve older adults by building the workforce that's needed to care for an aging America. We supported dozens of programs that spanned the spectrum of academic and clinical training. We focused on developing faculty with geriatrics expertise or on infusing curricula with aging-related content. We created initiatives that first engaged physicians, next nurses, and then, as June mentioned, social workers, a critical component of the workforce that we realized at that time was underappreciated and undervalued in healthcare. That's why we're here today. We began our social work portfolio in 1998, and several key organizations emerged as leaders in the field, including and founding Partners in Care Foundation, which really helped us to conceptualize our work. We developed the Geriatric Social Work Initiative, and its purpose was, first, to incorporate geriatrics into the social work curriculum and accreditation standards. Second, to increase the number and capabilities of social work faculty committed to geriatrics. And then third, to strengthen geriatrics content and experience in the field placements or practicums of master's level social work students. That's you. That last goal was achieved through what we called at the time the Hartford Partnership Program in Aging Education, and which lives on now as the Geriatric Social Work Education Consortium. So over the 10 years of the Geriatric Social Work Initiative at our foundation, we authorized grants totaling almost $65 million, of which 11 million through 19 different grants went to support the field placements program. That program grew steadily over time, so that by 2012, the master's level rotational field placement model had been adopted by 97 schools of social work across the country. That's 40% of the nation's 242 Masters of Social Work programs at the time. Partners in Care Foundation, of course, took a lead role in the Southern California Consortium, which we were proud to support together with our good partners at the Archstone Foundation. Partners in Care was unique in being in the first cohort and also in being the largest, with actual partnerships between multiple agencies and multiple schools. And at that time, this kind of cooperation and collaboration between the schools of social work was completely unheard of. So Partners in Care was part of the original group, concepting group, and led this vital Southern California bold new innovation. The consortium created an integrated regional network for improving geriatric social work education and field training, and it uses core geriatric social work competencies that the John A. Hartford Foundation developed, along with the model for rotational field placements. And it is remarkable and a great credit to Partners in Care to be able to sustain the program for all these years. Partners in Care has managed to double the number of schools participating. It grew from 4 to 12 different agency partners that provide field placements and has doubled the number of students enrolled each year from 24 to over 50, while maintaining these incredibly valuable student stipends as well. And I understand that Partners in Care is poised to grow the program even further. So congratulations, that is fantastic. The John A. Hartford Foundation has worked with Partners in Care in many other ways that we aren't talking about so much today, through our support of the Innovative Home Meds program and through our support of the Aging and Disability Institute of the National Association of Area Agencies on Aging. And I could go on and on about the great work of Partners and of June and her team, many of whom you work with. But I'll close by congratulating Partners in Care Foundation, the Geriatric Social Work Education Consortium, and most importantly, all of the social work master students who've been enriched by their experiences and who really have enriched all of us. You are helping to improve the care of older adults, and we couldn't be more proud to have played a role in supporting your accomplishments. So we thank you for all you have done, and we congratulate you. Back to you, June.
There's such a dramatic expansion of older portion of our population. The whole demographics are changing worldwide, and everyone recognizes it. In the late 90s, the John A. Hartford Foundation had worked a lot on building out systems of care for older people, to practice in the field, to actually serve people and to have the skills, because there's a huge growing population.
The Southern California Geriatric Social Work Education Consortium began in 1998 when Partners in Care received one of 8 planning grants nationally from the John A. Hartford Foundation. Decided to partner with Hartford and gave matching grants to the 2 sites that were selected for California.
They identified a need to strengthen the practice of social work in conjunction with healthcare.
multiple academic institutions and multiple centers of excellence, practice sites where students could do field work. Universities that partnered: the University of California, Los Angeles, University of Southern California, California State University, Long Beach, and California State University, Los Angeles. They and 4 centers of excellence partnered and then had 12 associate fieldwork sites. So students could have a very diverse range of practice experiences.
Once I went through the process, they only took 2 interns, and I was one of the 2. It was one division within the Alzheimer's Association, one that focused on African Americans, one that focused on Hispanics, and one that focused on Asian Pacific Islanders. I was extremely fortunate to get chosen for an amazing agency that I was privileged to get an opportunity to work with. I can assure you that your pathway in your field placement, it's really left up to you. The opportunities are there.
program, GSWEC, is very important. It has helped me professionally because it really did provide an example of what it looks like to have strong female leadership and be a strong female leader, and they're leaders in their agencies and in the field of aging.
Great for me in my involvement with GSWEC is that I've seen a lot of alumni continue to work in the field of working in geriatrics and with older adults, but also had given back to social work education as field instructors, teaching courses in our MSW program, and doing orientations for all of our students about the benefits of working with older adults. So that's been wonderful to see.
GSWEC students develop a network of friends when they work in the VA and all the other agencies. They're lifelong partners. They help each other get trained, get through school, get licensed, develop jobs. They tell each other about different jobs, and they work together at agencies. It's a wonderful collaboration.
Well, I can unequivocally say that the GSWEC program for me was one of the most incredible decisions that I made for my career that has allowed me to continue to do the work that I love to do, that I'm passionate about.
Apply to one of the MSW programs locally, get involved with GSWEC, select it as your second year agency choice. You will get a stipend, you will get extra training and supervision, and a pathway for employment.
members are on the front line of care for our older adults, and we need a strong, skilled workforce to undertake that work. GSWEC has been a regional innovation. It has provided academic training and fieldwork training to almost 700 students to date.
But I tried doing my geriatric social work internship at the VA, and I absolutely loved it. I loved working with the veterans. I loved the team approach. I loved the focus, the passion. It's something that you can always take with you for the rest of your life and the rest of your career.
An opportunity to work with a population that has paved the way for so many of us, have made a way for us to do so many things so freely that we do every day. This is an opportunity to give back to a population that has given so much. And now, toward the end of their journeys, they're given so little. You can have a vibrant career in the field of aging. Give it an opportunity.
And it's also personal to me because when my father was dying in our home in the hospice, we had an incredible hospice team come to our home. One of the team members was an MSW who was a GSWEC alum. And even though I've been a social worker for 30 years, I know that my whole family and me personally, we benefited from having that hospice team come to our home.
I encourage you to join this field. I know that when I joined it, the field of aging and GSWEC had a very wonderful personal experience with my grandmother. I remember her telling me that I was an old soul from the time I was very little. In many ways, I joined the field of aging to honor her, to give her and older adults just a little bit of what she gave me. I can't imagine anything more rewarding, motivating to bring us to this profession.
And so we have to inspire younger graduating professionals to understand how exciting a field of practice aging is and to enter it.
This is a great opportunity that you need to get involved with. Join GSWEC.
It's been gratifying for those of us at Archstone Foundation to work with partners in care because of their longstanding commitment to geriatric social work education has continued the work for 20 years.
So this is a very exciting moment for us, this moment of history, of shared success, and wonderful to have that video to capture the contributions of many, our successful graduates and our original funders. So we are so pleased to have that. And of course, this history is made up of many of us here. And so I want to introduce here one of the key components. Without the universities, where would GSWEC be? It's a wonderful collaboration and very unique in its partnership of multiple universities and multiple agencies, really working together on behalf of this shared cause to build a great social work workforce to lead the evolution of the needed new services for older patients, people, and their families. So I'm really pleased to introduce the universities and their deans and directors, who are our elegant, celebrated partners who have all the students we're trying to recruit. And so here they are.
wait. Sometimes we meet someone who is very, very special. And that person happens to be Jennifer George. I first met Jennifer when she was a GSWEC intern, and she has grown and developed into a mighty champion for geriatric social work. She teaches, she mentors, she is clinically astounding, and she creates programs for geriatric social work and training. I am so honored and pleased to be able to introduce her to you today. She is humble, but she is a mighty warrior. She has a great sense of humor, and she is one of the pillars of the GSWEC program. I am delighted to introduce her to you as the keynote speaker for the Geriatric Social Work graduation class of 2020.
Thank you to the GSWEC steering committee members who have invited me here today, and to Partners in Care Foundation who have organized our virtual event. Thank you to the academic and agency leadership, faculty, and staff who are here today to join us in celebrating the accomplishments of our 2020 GSWEC cohort. And to you, the GSWEC class of 2020, I am honored and grateful to be here with you today. Today is your day. We, of course, should begin by acknowledging the circumstances that we find ourselves in. Today is not the GSWEC graduation we all envisioned for you. The situation that we have encountered over the last several months is simply unprecedented. You emerged from spring break to be given notification that your classes were moving to online platforms. Your university field faculty were scurrying to negotiate how you would continue to successfully complete field, and the routine you finally built in field and the mastery that you were likely beginning to embrace was taken out from under you. You have been worried about the health and well-being of your families and friends, and undoubtedly about your own future. For those of you who are graduating this year, it is not without many losses. The traditions of caps and gowns and graduation ceremonies have now been deemed public health hazards. All of you and your graduate experience has been greatly and forever changed. I have been asked to speak with you today about my experiences as a GSWEC alum, with, of course, a little sprinkling of encouragement and hope for you as you take your next step. The opportunity to speak with you today is in many ways a full circle moment for me. I can remember what it was like to be where you are right now, simultaneously excited and uncertain for what my professional future would hold. Being here today reminds me of those feelings. What has changed over the last several years, however, is what it means to be a GSWEC alumni. Back then, I thought that GSWEC was all about having an internship at a leading agency, a designation that would enhance my resume and make me a more marketable job contender. What I know and understand today is that GSWEC is something much, much bigger. You see, GSWEC is a social movement. It's a collection of individuals with a common passion, vision, and shared agenda. GSWEC to me is about taking what one has learned, experienced, and paying it forward to a future generation of leaders. Those leaders are you. In preparation for today, I spent a lot of time thinking about what I thought you should know as a future GSWEC leader. First, the opportunity to be part of the GSWEC program is both a privilege and an opportunity. I share this with you because throughout your career, you will be given many opportunities. These opportunities, however, will often be disguised as a challenge of some sort. Sometimes that challenge will be of a personal nature, a test of who you are, what you believe in, something that requires you to look inward at oneself. Sometimes the challenge will be of a professional nature, a test of your abilities, an opportunity to prove yourself in a new position or with a new project, essentially being asked to do something you've never done before. COVID-19 is the quintessential example of such an opportunity. You could have easily become discouraged, disheartened, and given up altogether. But you've demonstrated adaptability. You've developed and flexed new muscles in your GSWEC field placement and sought new and innovative ways to serve your clients, communities, and agencies. Harry S. Truman once said that a pessimist is one who makes difficulties of his opportunities, and an optimist is one who makes opportunities of his difficulties. You see, we cannot be paralyzed by what we don't know or by what we're afraid to fail at. Very simply, we must find the courage to get out of our own way so that we can face the challenges that lie ahead, because life will not wait and people need our help. Second, GSWEC teaches us that failure is par for the course, and that if we haven't failed, then we probably haven't even tried. Everyone here today has the training and talent to succeed, but do you have the guts to fail? Failure is natural, expect it. What matters is what you do after you fail. In the last lecture by Randy Pausch, he talks metaphorically about the role of brick walls in our lives. He says the following: brick walls are there for a reason. The brick walls are there not to keep us out. The brick walls are there to give us a chance to show how badly we want something. The brick walls are there to stop the people who don't want it badly enough. They're there to stop the other people. When the door of opportunity opens, we must walk through. We cannot be concerned about whether we will fail or succeed. Rather, we must be concerned with leading the charge, even when we know not all of our attempts will be successful. GSWEC has taught us to be leaders in our agencies, in our communities, and even in the political arena. And we must lead. Otherwise, those who are in the most need will remain invisible. COVID-19 has only served to highlight the disparities that exist in our society. Amongst those we are charged with serving. It will be up to you to take on these injustices. Next, GSWEC has taught us about finding our passion and the meaning in our work. In a commencement address at Stanford in 2008, Steve Jobs talks about the lessons he learned after being fired from Apple, a company that he started. He states, "Your work is going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it, keep looking. Don't settle. As with all matters of the heart, you'll know it when you find it." Believe it or not, next I want to talk to you about superheroes. Yes, the ones with capes and superpowers. I'm always amazed about the anticipation and excitement that comes with the premiere of a new superhero movie and the hype around such films. My wheels started to spin about why there was so much energy around these types of movies. Was it simply a means of escapism, or was there something more at play here? So I did a quick search online to see how many such movies have been developed and released in the last decade or so. You're probably not surprised to hear that it's been dozens. Just to name a few: Guardians of the Galaxy, Black Panther, Captain America, Captain Marvel, Iron Man, The Amazing Spider-Man, Ant-Man, X-Men, Batman, Daredevil, Aquaman, Watchmen, The Incredibles, The Punisher, Jessica Jones, Catwoman, The Fantastic Four, Thor, Hellboy, Shazam, Superman, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Doctor Strange, and Wonder Woman, and the list goes on and on. I started to think about some of the greatest challenges we're currently faced with as a society, and the answer to why we are so enamored by these superheroes came into focus. It's no secret that we are in very trying times. Superheroes are an inspiration and a reminder of the greatest or greater, often untapped potentials of humanity. Superheroes are a reminder that even in our darkest times, we have an inherent potential for greatness. Regardless of one's age, we need role models to imprint on. The moral development of superheroes, or sometimes the lack of, can inspire us to be better people. These characters often serve as reminders of the best qualities in humanity. Things like courage, strength, resilience, compassion, hope, and empathy. We have seen this repeatedly throughout the pandemic. First responders putting their own lives in danger to save others. older adults who have been retired, who have rejoined the workforce to provide much needed specialized care to others, and even neighbors and communities that have pitched in to check on their fellow man to make sure that they have their basic needs. Superheroes have also challenged us with moral complexity. As we travel along with these characters, they often force us to take some sort of view, to agree or to disagree on their actions. Seeing them in action forces us to look at our own values and think, what would I do in this situation? Superheroes often have a mission, a purpose, and even a creed. And as they make their way through life, this resonates for many of us. We're often inspired by the superhero's ideal of selfless service to humanity, standing up for your values, or being a force of positive social change, which reflects many real-life heroes such as Mother Teresa, Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King, or the Dalai Lama, all of whom were tireless servants who worked for a better tomorrow, whose lives are living examples and tributes of the values that they embody. They work towards peace and lifting up those of us who are most vulnerable in sometimes cruel and hostile world. Superheroes have the potential to inspire people to have hope and courage, to stand up for their fellow man, and to live with purpose and gratitude. They take responsibility for themselves and those who depend on them. Finally, superheroes are like lightning rods for unleashing our own inherent potentials. By seeing our heroes in action, we are reminded about how important life is, the importance of waking up, growing up, and showing up, and being our most authentic selves in daily life. It finally all clicked for me. I realized that this was very similar to our social work code of ethics. We've chosen a profession that not only requires but demands that we consider the human potential in all of those that we serve. Although we lack a cape and a particular superhuman power, only armed with a badge and a clipboard, we are not that different than the superhero. We do have an arsenal of superpowers. We have humanity and compassion and empathy and kindness. And more importantly, we strive to help others unleash their own superpowers in some of their darkest times. So I ask you to strive to be an everyday superhero by being yourself. As Maya Angelou said, people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. You were each handpicked, but it wasn't just because of your superhero qualities, but for your potential to bring those qualities out in those that you serve. I argue that each of you here today is no stranger to the concepts that I've spoken of. You've made hard choices, worked hard, and took risks to get here today. You've chosen a career in social work, a profession whose in the public's eye is full of stigma and misperceptions regarding the work we do and how we do it. You have faced and tackled many of the challenges that GSWEC has to offer. You began by making the unpopular choice to pursue geriatric social work. You were likely to be the minority in your MSW program. You're likely to have sat in many classrooms only to hear the needs of this population either skipped over or ignored completely. But again, you didn't waver. You stayed true to your passion because you understand that sometimes growing older can be accompanied by illness, physical disability, and cognitive impairment. But you also know that aging can be beautiful, a time of rejuvenation, wisdom, and creativity. You survived the GSWEC open house and the myriad of interviews that followed. You were chosen because of your talent, skills, and potential to advance the field. You have attended and participated in training didactics that covered everything from sexual health in older adults to end of life to social isolation. You spent the last 8 to 9 months working in premier agencies with leaders in the field of aging, delivering services across the micro, meso, macro spectrum. You've developed relationships with your field liaisons, field instructors, and preceptors, and even your peers. And if you're lucky enough and you continue to foster this network, it will serve you well throughout your career. You're here today, your GSWEC projects serving as concrete representations of your hard work and leadership skills. But now is the time to take the next step in your career. With many successes under your belt and perhaps a newfound sense of confidence in yourself as you go out into the field, you are faced with a whole new set of challenges and opportunities. Let's start with the good news. You'll have plenty of opportunities if you continue to pursue geriatric social work. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, by 2030, 1 out of every 5 Americans will be over the age of 65. It's estimated that the United States will need over 70,000 social workers that specialize in geriatrics. This is coupled with the fact that at the same time that this demand will reach its peak, many are retiring. This leaves you knowing 2 things. You'll have big shoes to fill, but you will be employed. You must also consider the short and long-term implications of the demographic imperative, sometimes referred to as the silver tsunami. The growth of the population age 65 and older affects all aspects of our society, challenging families, businesses, healthcare providers, and policymakers, amongst others, to meet the ever-changing needs of an aging population. You'll be faced with the challenge of providing services to a population that is more racially and ethnically diverse than ever before. How will you prepare yourself to be culturally competent in the provision of services that you are providing and in the development of those services? The prevalence of Alzheimer's disease and other related dementias will continue to increase with the rapid growth of the older adult population. Will there be services, research dollars, and programs to meet the needs? You'll be working with a very different cohort of older adults, baby boomers. Although more economically secure today than previous generations, baby boomers' increased longevity causes concerns about their future employment, healthcare, prospective lifestyle, and retirement provisions. You will undoubtedly be faced with continued threats to historical safety net systems for which many older adults have become dependent, such as Social Security, Medicare, and Medi-Cal. Policy changes at all levels of government will be essential, and you will be charged to find creative, innovative solutions to many of the challenges that lie ahead. Now, as you go into your future, you have to take what you've learned in the classroom and in field and translate it into your professional self. You have invested a lot in your education, and many have invested in you. A lot of people need your help. To be successful, you must accept all of the challenges that come your way. You can't just accept the ones that you like. You truly are the best of us, and we all believe that you have the ability, skills, and talent to move the field forward. People will view their lives in 2 parts, before the coronavirus pandemic and after. You will be charged with finding the new normal, and we couldn't be prouder that you reached this significant milestone in the midst of such crisis. So I leave you with the following thoughts. Are you a pessimist, one who makes difficulties of his opportunities, or an optimist, one who makes opportunities of his difficulties? Are you willing to settle? Do you know where your passion lies? What is your superpower? Once again, I congratulate you and I celebrate you. Congratulations, GSWEC Cohort 2020.
Well, Jennifer George is a wonderful example of a GSWEC alum. Thank you, Jennifer. Always an inspiration, and we appreciate all that went into your great presentation. Jennifer is a key leader, and we have other key leaders here today to join in celebrating our interns who are graduating from their GSWEC fellowship today. So I'm really pleased to recognize the role of the agencies in GSWEC. These agencies have come in over the years, one at a time as GSWEC has grown, and they are the heart of the quality education that our program offers. And you graduates are the spirit and purpose of the whole. And so it is very exciting at this time to bring to you a key leader from each agency to present to you, our dear successful GSWECers, a certificate of completion and recognition which we wish was in person so we could give you a big hug. But we're here to celebrate you and thank you for picking GSWEC, completing it well, and going out to serve our community with great skills and purpose to improve services to our older citizens and their families. So without further ado, here are our agency leaders to present the awards.
Altamed, Lisa Ruiz Vangelatos, Social Work Manager. Mary Alvarado. Vanessa Corral. Rodolfo Gaitan Ramos. Angie Macias. David Marin. Denora Ortiz. Alzheimer's, Los Angeles. Kathy Ladd, Vice President of Programs. Zamara Lara. Jorge Vasquez. Alzheimer's, Orange County. Mark Odom, Vice President, Programs and Education. Viridiana Gutierrez. Joanna Harvey. Natalie Hilberg. Alicia Kim. Stacy Posas. Elizabeth Soroa. Beach City's Health District. Michael Riley, Care Management Coordinator. Stacy Chavez. Malena Thompson. Huntington Senior Care Network. Eileen Coons, Director. Elisa Jimenez. Maria Salguero. Jewish Family Service of Los Angeles. Susan Mendlowitz Belgrade, Director of Freedom War Center. Melissa Johnson. Anne Marie Savoy. Kennedy Singer. Motion Picture and Television Fund. Jennifer George, Director, Community Social Services. Deanna Bowerman. Amy Click. Stephanie Morgan. Carson Price. Pacific Clinics. Diane Golden. Director of Social Work. Natalie Ambruso. Christine Guzman Hernandez. Eunice Morales Chavez. Nancy Plancart. Partners in Care Foundation. Christy Lau, Director, Community Wellness Department. Eunice Chen. Shad Cruz. Delilah Perdomo. Anna Diaz. Special Service for Groups, Silver. Yvonne Sun, Division Director. Diana Ake. Zieg Ren. Megan Wills. Veterans Administration Health Systems. Martha Waite, Associate Chief, Site Manager, Supervisor, Social Work Service. Kenneth Bishop. Jessica Egan. Bridget Gomez. Brandon Hervey. Marbella Leone. Kiana Naimi. Chiamaka Okiki. Juan Ortega. Samantha Paz. Christy Reed. Melanie Torres. Vasilisa Zambrano. Wise and Healthy Aging. Molly Davies, Vice President, Elder Abuse Prevention and Ombudsman Services. Lisa Anderson. Angelica Cohen. Jacqueline Flores. Antonio Medrano. Kiana Mosley. Yevgenia Mozyazian.
Wow, you are a lot to celebrate. Each of those incredible agencies and each of these wonderful students now moving out full-fledged into your professional life as master's degree of social work, a wonderfully diverse and beautiful crowd of excellent students. Each of you competed to get in, to be selected for GSWEC. And now we hope you'll enter the alumni group. We are so proud of each of you. This video, this recorded session, this virtual session, now this is live. Hi, I'm here really. But this was a tremendous effort to recognize you and to provide this rite of passage. And you will have it. It will be on Facebook, YouTube. It's on YouTube. And so we hope that you will take this as a piece of legacy. And at the end, I'll announce a more lasting legacy. But first, I would like to say that this effort to move a live celebration to a virtual event, which we hope you found meaningful and uplifting and a full expression of our love, pride, and recognition of all the accomplishments of the schools, of the agencies, and of our students. Bravo, MSWs. So I want to recognize the technology department of Partners in Care. Roma Shervanian is the leader, and Roman Sarhad has a background in production, was really critical to this, but our vice president of marketing, Russ Donahue, has played an amazing role, and Karen Schneider, our VP of development, very crucial in lifting up to 20 years. And Etta McCurry, all of you know her. She is the heart of GSWEC and really leads us in every day in every way. We had a videographer, Paloma Nafarte, who did an excellent job. We're very proud of the important role that's been played throughout the years of Partners by Laura Manthe, who leads Laura Manthe Design and is really an elegant contributor to this. And she brought the voice over from Pam Johnson. So we move forward then to see you go out to be leaders. In every role you pick, you will still be leading. What everyone does counts so much. This is such an important time for this work, as we all know. But each of you has done one more thing we want to recognize. Each student in GSWEC participates in what we call a macro project. It looks at a bigger issue, a program issue, a population, a special need, and pulls it into a special study and a special report. And these are important pieces of work done either individually or in teams. Now, in the past, we lived in the moment in real company. Now we can post things, and so we have a great debt of thanks to give to Jean Un, who's assistant professor at Azusa Pacific University, who came forward with a wonderful idea that we could create a gallery, a lasting gallery, so that each of these projects, which then is converted through no small effort into a poster board. Usually at the live event, you would walk around and you would meet each student, you would see their poster board, learn about their macro project, and that would be great. But then they would take the poster board home and we would never see it again. Now, for all posterity, you are in the web and you will be seen in that regard. I don't know if we have a slide giving the link at the end. So please, here, go for the next part. Instead of strolling individually, you can go, you can see, and you can celebrate the important work in the past and in the future of every single one of our beautiful GSWEC Fellowship graduates. Bravo for you all. We'll see you at the alumni events, and thank you very much for joining us today. Standing ovation and hugs all around. Thank you. That concludes the program.